So I took a I have to pause the TV. Hold on. Okay. So I didn't end up pausing the video because honestly that video is there for my dogs and it would be pretty mean of me to turn their movie off because I'm doing this. So I just put my headphones in because it's easier that way. I called out sick from work today. I'm having convulsions. I have my work phone right here because I feel like I should turn it on, but I'm not going to because I'm supposed to be homesick. I have a really hard time taking a day off. Now, of course, it's not going to be a day off. I have snow contracts to write. I have things to do. I have cleaning to do. And I think to myself, Kate, this is why. This is why. And I say to myself, how am I going to change this? And then I say to myself, hold on. I say to myself, dude, you're not okay. And then I think to myself, I don't know, 3 days. So my plan is I'm going to go into the doctor's. I'm going to find a place that has a very nice place that, like, people can recover in. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to be like, I'm going to order. I'm going to place an order. I'm going to be like, please put me into a coma for 3 days. I require 3 days of off the grid availability where my body can just recharge. That being said, while I'm in here, I'm gonna need a tune up, I'm gonna need some new teeth, I'm gonna need blah, 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 and then like let them work it out. Because honestly, I pay insurance. What the do I pay insurance for if insurance people are not gonna do their jobs, right? I mean, whatever. Yeah, I'm a little bitchy. Hold on a second. So the reason that I'm a little bitchy is because I went to a dentist appointment yesterday, which is like my third. Ugh. I went to the oral surgeon. The oral surgeon explained to me that he was going to find me a dentist because my dentist doesn't do implant stuff. So he was going to find me a dentist and we were going to build a team and he was going to do the foundation work. He was going to go in, work with all this bone that I have in here. Perfect. I'm a wonderful candidate for implants because I don't have any of the bone loss because usually when people see teeth like mine, they're like drugs. A little different than that. Coca-Cola, um, but still kind of the same, just liquid. Anyways, whatever. The whole point of it is that Coca-Cola is what has fueled me. It's another source of caffeine. It's just like drinking coffee. Well, today I am drinking black cherry Mio, which is a sugar-free, tastes like a lot of sugar drink because I'm not grown up enough to just drink water because my body needs it, apparently. However, hold on. So I'm drinking water now. I'm looking forward to a healthy system. Now, I'm totally aware that when I get implants, I am going to have to stop smoking. And in my head, I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, Kate. That's going to be fun because I've been smoking for a very long time. One of the things about smoking is it blocks all the receptors in your brain, so there has to be new ones made. You know what I mean? So I got a lot of extra holes in there, and by the time withdrawal starts setting in, which is I moved too fast. There is God, Kate, you blew the joke. Hold on. In your brain, you have little holes that allow signals to go from one spot to the other spot to the other spot. When you smoke, smoking clogs those receptor holes. Okay. I don't know. I believe it's the nicotine. I believe it's the nicotine. It blocks the receptor holes. So basically, your body has to make new receptor holes so that the right things can get through to the right spaces. Because your body, not your friend's body, not somebody else's body, your body is absolutely involved in your evolution and in your ability to move forward and do the things that you need to do. You have to treat your body correctly because if you don't, you end up where I'm at, which is I didn't, but I couldn't at the time because I didn't have enough willpower, because I didn't think that, hold on, I didn't have enough willpower. And that is as much explanation as I need to give on that matter. Because the truth of it is, everybody's been there. Everybody's been there. And people talk about, sin and what's wrong and this, that, and the other thing. And all I could think of is sin is just people who just they don't understand. They don't understand. And some might be like, oh, well, they don't understand because they don't care. No, that's not it at all. Their brain isn't wired to think like that. Their brain may be in that like fight or flight mode. Who knows? Their brain could be in that space where they're like, maybe they're in the freeze mode where they don't know what to do, so they don't do anything. That happens too. But even then, in that moment where you don't know what to do and so you don't do anything, that is still a moment. That is your body's way of being like, nope, shut it down. Shut it the fuck down. And it doesn't matter what society thinks about that. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks about that. The only thing that matters is how you are able to get through it. But the best thing to do is try and get through it alone. Because if you go out and you have problems and those problems bleed onto other people, right? And I'm talking about it because I did it, because I totally get it, because whatever. I'm me, right? I'm me. And this is just the way I'm going to try and put this through. Kate, you're explaining yourself again. Hold on. I stayed home from work today to focus on myself. I went to go drop my son off at work today because I went to go drop my son off at work today. And I came home, and on my way home, I thought about the fact that my husband had been out all night plowing, about the fact that he had taken me to a dental appointment, which I thought was a fucking referral, which ended up being somebody who was like, oh, we don't take insurance. Dude, I asked you about insurance 5 times before I even got to the fucking appointment. I was coming in there with my insurance bared saying, this is how I anticipate paying for this astronomical surgery to correct something that I messed up myself. Right. And I work for a wonderful company that actually gives a crap about the people who work for them. And they give us really good insurance. So I was lucky enough to even be in the running for this. So I go to an oral surgeon. And the oral surgeon refers me to the dentist. And we're supposed to be this big team. So I go to see this dentist. I schedule an appointment. It takes me 2 weeks to get in with this wonderful woman. It takes me 2 weeks because she's a very busy office. So I get in, and it's the night before the dentist appointment, and I have a cold. I have an absolutely horrible cold. And the last thing I want to do is go into a dentist office where they're going to be looking at my mouth, breathing all over them. Gotta take this shit seriously. It's not fair to bleed all over other people. That includes anything. Anyway, hold on. All of this is an issue. I'm out of work today. And I need to not freak out about that. It is important for me to take care of myself. There has been a lot of stressors around this. I'm not stressed. I'm not freaking out. I feel fine. I just feel horrible that I'm not at work because, like, how do you be a person who helps families when you're home sick? Like, their life is still moving and they've still got stuff going on that is still just as important. And, like, so I feel like I'm letting people down. But honestly, the truth of the matter is, letting people down would be going to their house sick. Because if they've already got stressors, they definitely don't need somebody coming over there to their house sick. It's not fair. It's not okay. And I think I don't even mind losing the time. Because at least I know that I'm not only protecting myself, but I'm also protecting people around me. Not that it's huge, but my immune system was down and I had chickenpox as a kid. So I came up with shingles. Like, the doctor, he looked at me and he's like, He's like, I was like, I think I have some kind of like contact dermatitis going on, like right on the side of my back over here. And he's like, oh, shingles. I looked at him, I was like, you calling me old? He's like, no. He's like, no, it doesn't make you old. And, and he's like, what are you like? And I looked at him like, are we doing this? And he cordially looked at my chart and was like, no, you're 43, and you had, I would assume you had chicken pox as a kid. And I was like, yeah, you'd be right. And he's like, all right, well, since you had chicken pox as a kid, this is just a thing that's gonna happen, because when your immune system goes down, like because of my cold, then you end up having, issues. And so here I am sitting here with some issues, and I can't go to work. I'm not in a horrible amount of pain. There's no real issue with this. I'm on a antiviral, but anyway, I'm still here and I can still come through a camera and be a good person, so maybe I'll just do that instead. I don't know. Have a great day. Bye. I'll come back.